Om Shri Sai Ram, offering my loving salutations at the divine feet of our beloved Master, Bhagwan Shri Sathya Sai Baba. I also offer my loving salutations at the divine lotus feet of all the listeners, all the people who have taken out their time to be present for this conversation. I offer my reverential pranams at their divine lotus feet too. Swami was actually the greatest embodiment of uncertainty that I have ever seen in my life. It was April 2008. Swami had asked me to do my PhD in June 2005. I had started my PhD in June 2005, and I was about 2.5 years into my PhD. I remember it was April. I was sitting in the bhajan hall one day, and Swami called me and said, so what's your PhD status? When are you finishing your PhD? I said, Swami, I will finish it next year in convocation. I will surely get my PhD with your grace. Swami said, no. Finish it this year. I want you to finish this year. It was already April. The convocation will be in November. I have barely 5 months. You know, people who have done PhD, they know it's a lot of work. 3 years is too less, and I had planned my work in such a way that I have, 1.5 years more, and suddenly here Swami is asking me to finish in just the next 5 months. So I said, Swami, it's very difficult. I have planned for 1.5 years. My guide right now is in America. My guide, Professor Anantaraman, was at that time in Boston. I said, Swami, he is not here. He will only come in June. And, I have still a lot of interviews to conduct. There's so much work to do. It's very difficult, Swami. Please give me 1 more year. I'll finish in 2009, November. I will surely finish. Swami said, no. I am in a hurry. You have to finish it this year. I said, okay. And then my guide had to cut short his trip. He came back from the US on an emergency basis. He flew back. And there was a lot of hassle. 1.5 years work had to be finished in 5 months. It was tough. But there are always experts who understand Swami and his ways. So I was told, Swami has special plans for you, He's in such a hurry. He wants you to finish his PhD in such a hurry. He must be having very special plans for you. And who doesn't like feeling special? So I said, yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure Swami has special plans for me. And then it came about, and Swami's words have a way of coming true. I did finish my PhD in 5 months. I got my PhD in November 2008, in about 3 years and 4 months after I registered for the PhD. In December 2008, about a month after I finished my PhD, Swami said, I have special plans for you. I will tell you what to do. And then Swami just took about 3.5 years to make things move. For 3.5 years, I was just sitting, waiting for Swami to tell. No job, no money. I'd almost forgotten what my PhD was all about. And Swami took 3.5 years to make things move. But then that is Swami, the embodiment of uncertainty. And there is a reason why Swami says, love my uncertainty. On another occasion, I remember it was 2006. Some of you might remember Swami had organized a massive Atirudra Mahayagnim in Puttaparthi in 2006. At least in my 18 years in Bhakti, I cannot remember another occasion of such enthusiasm, nay, almost frenzy, with the active participation and encouragement of Swami. Swami was so actively involved in the Atirudra Mahayajnam of 2006, and such was the excitement and such was the anticipation in the air in Parthi. So thick was the anticipation that you could almost cut the air with a knife. Thousands and thousands of devotees were thronging Puttaparthi. There were people who were flying in from Australia, Canada, far off places just for a night, just to witness that yajna. Such was the enthusiasm. Usually we students and faculty of Swami's University, we usually have a good place to sit in the Kulwant Hall, a comfortable place from where we can have Swami's darshan. It was the first time, and I, as far as I can remember, the last time when even we were struggling to find a place to sit. Because all the top VIPs had left the portico and come in the front. And because there were so many devotees, Swami had stopped going to the portico. And Swami was spending all his time, in front of the portico, in front of what was then the Ganesha in the Kulwant Hall. And there Swami would spend all his time giving darshan to devotees and overseeing the Atirudra Mahayajnam. And every day it will be such a struggle to find a place. And the frenzy was beginning to reach a crescendo. Now it was the day of Purnahuti, and we know the day of Purnahuti, Swami goes around the hall sprinkling the consecrated water on devotees. With his own hands, he has that broom, that brush, with which he sprinkles the holy consecrated water on the devotees. And that day had come. And you can imagine the excitement, amongst the devotees, the students, the staff, the faculty, the VIPs. And there was a huge rush. And you could feel it in the air. Everybody was just, will I get a drop of water on my head? Will I get a place to sit? Will I be able to see Swami? Will Swami be able to see me? And I was in the hostel that day. I very vividly remember it was around 5 or 5:30 a.m. Everybody was in a hurry, even in the hostel, to finish breakfast quickly, to shower quickly, and then run to the ashram, run to the mandir, to find a spot to sit. And suddenly, as I was also getting trapped in this excitement, it struck me, what is the point of trying to go somewhere so that I can be here? It suddenly struck me that, so what if it is highly consecrated water of a great yajna sprinkled by a great avatar like Swami himself? Still, it's not holier than that which shines in my heart. And what is the use of losing myself here so I can go somewhere else and there be here? So I said, I'm just going to have a harmonious day. I'm just going to do my things. And slowly, around 7 a.m., I will go to the Kulwant Hall and let us see what happens. Whatever happens, I am not going to lose my stand here. And as expected, I reached Kulwant Hall around 7:30. There was not an inch of space left in the Kulwant Hall. Not an inch of space. Every inch was taken. Now Swami had completely stopped, as I was mentioning, coming to the upper portico, because all the VIPs, all the top VIPs, the international presidents, the vice chancellor, the registrar, everybody had shifted themselves to the front. So that place was entirely empty, and for the 9 days of the yajna, Swami did not come there even once. And that place was empty. That was the only place in the Kulwant Hall where there was some place to sit. So I just went there and sat there. I was there, one or two sevadals were there. That's all, the whole place was empty. And there are a couple of pigeons. So I just went there, sat there, around 8:15, Swami, came. I couldn't see Swami. I could not see what was happening in the Kulwant Hall. I could not see the yajna. I could not see any human being also. I was just sitting all alone in this portico. And I said, anyway, I cannot see anything. Why not just close my eyes and sit quietly? So I just closed my eyes. I was just sitting quietly. And it's when there is inner stillness, it's a joy to see the dance of excitement around you. When you're not in the midst of it, then it's actually quite tortuous. But when you're actually still inside, it's actually quite joyful to see the dance of change and excitement around us. So I was sitting happily. In fact, I was quite blissed out actually. And my eyes were closed. And then, you could hear that the Swami had started going around sprinkling water. There were a lot of excitement. There was some screaming, a lot of hustle, bustle. And you could sense, even with my eyes closed, I could sense that Swami is going around. But then I could not see Swami, I could not see anything. I was just sitting with my eyes closed. And then suddenly, it was as if somebody threw a whole bucket of water on me. And I opened my eyes with a startle. And there, 2 feet from me, Swami was sitting on his chair and sitting there and smiling at me. And I opened my eyes, and what had just happened, which I realized much later, that as Swami was cutting from the primary school, for the first time in the last 9 days, instead of going front, he actually came to the portico. There was nobody, only I was sitting. Swami came to me, stopped his chair, dipped the brush in the can of holy water, took it and splashed it on my face. It was all, I was drenched, literally drenched in that water, and opened my eyes, and well, Swami, as always, says, love my uncertainty. Actually, come to the actual topic of at hand of dealing powerfully with uncertainty, especially of the kind that we are facing now. Some of us are worried if any of our near and dear ones will contract the COVID. Some of us are worrying about our jobs. Some of us about the economy in general. Some of us simply don't know what to do with our lives with so much time. And then others are thinking, when can I get out of my house again? When can I become mobile again? All of us are, dealing in some ways with this tremendous uncertainty and disruption that has affected our lives. And to make this discussion even a little more personal, I am also dealing, for example, with something, about the beginning of March, when all this was not so big. It was still a small thing. My parents went to Bihar. For those of you who may not know, Bihar is one of the most economically backward states of India. Brilliant people, amazing people, but it's a highly backward state economically, with very scant resources. My parents had gone there to meet an old friend who has been requesting their company for a long time, and they went there. On 19th March, my mom had a bad accident in Bihar, in the hinterland of Bihar, actually. And she had a very bad, complex compound fracture in her knee. And then, since then, she has been bedridden. Swami helped in many ways. We could get a very good surgeon in the capital of Bihar, that is Patna, which was actually 2 hours from where they were staying. Swami made many things work out. I'm grateful to Swami for that. And the surgery happened. Everything went well. A word about my mom. Actually, she has had many accidents in the past, and her legs have more metal than human tissue. All kinds of things: plates, screws, rods. What would I not give to be with her now? What would I not give to get her here to Parthi back, so that I can tend to her? But there she is. I'm not sure how well she's able to follow social distancing. I'm not sure how well she's quarantined. She's 64, and she only has my dad for her company. He is 72. And there they are. That's life. What is what is. What can be done about what is? Because what is always what is. So all of us, are dealing in some way or the other with this great disruption that has affected our life. Usually, just want to get this disclaimer out of the way. These kind of involved discussions usually are best done face to face, especially when there can be interaction where I am able to listen to my listeners and where they're able to share their perspective. And usually, such conversations build on this interaction, build on this collective energy of interaction. And the depth of the discussion largely is determined by the quality of this interaction. But then we have this limitation here. So I will do the best that I can, given our circumstances. So we are often hearing now how uncertain life has become with this, COVID situation, how nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow, and how stressful this uncertainty is. I want to ask just one question to all of you. When was life certain? When indeed was life actually certain? It is always uncertain, isn't it? Was it certain before COVID? No, here is the truth. Life was, is, and will forever remain absolutely, totally uncertain. There is nothing certain about life at all. Nothing is certain. Nothing was or nothing will ever be. Please take a moment, pause, and look at your lives and tell me what aspect of it is certain. It is another matter that we do live as if life is certain. But is it? We go to bed every day feeling certain that we will wake up the next day. But about 100,000 people on this planet every day don't. We leave for work certain that we will reach our workplace safely. Is it certain? Thousands don't. Don't mistake me, I'm not trying to paint a doomsday picture or trying to scare you. I am simply pointing out the primordial truth about life is its inherent uncertainty. Is it certain that this exhalation of mine will be followed by another inhalation? There is no certainty that will happen. This body, although very resilient, is also incredibly fragile. So even when the next breath is not certain, how anything else can be? A glaring example of this uncertainty is this virus itself. Before March, had anybody foreseen our lives will be like this today? So life has always been absolutely, totally uncertain. It only looks as if life has become more uncertain now. But life has not become more uncertain. In fact, it cannot become more uncertain because it has been like this always. Life is inherently, totally, absolutely uncertain. So what has changed now? Something has changed, right? Uncertainty showed up in the past too. Sometimes it showed up as a sudden financial gain. Sometimes it showed up as a financial loss. Sometimes as an unexpected occurrence at work. Sometimes as an unexpected health emergency. Sometimes as a loss of a dear one. It has always been showing up in the past also. Mostly, we ignored this primordial reality of life, that is uncertainty, and simply carried on. We carried on feigning certainty, living in an unreal bubble of mind-created certainty. We did not allow ourselves to look at the uncertainty of life, experience it fully, become deeply aware of it, and in that awareness, find a firm place to stand in the midst of this dance of uncertainty. We resisted it, denied it, often gave it a positive spin, or simply distracted ourselves away from its experience. Essentially speaking, nothing really has changed. What was hidden has today come in plain sight, so to say. So to sum up this part of the discussion, life was always uncertain. Life was always uncertain. Today, it is forcing us to pay attention to what was always like this. I have a question here from a viewer. Can you practice the power of 8? Maybe. Let's see how it goes. So well, now it's inescapable. We are, the uncertainty of life, it's completely in our face. We can't escape it. We can't look away. So let's look at this. Let's today, in this section, let's work with uncertainty itself and let's see where it takes us. Let's become aware of uncertainty and, in the process, free ourselves from its entanglement. Today, where are we going to work? We are going to work here. We are going to work here because life happens here. It only looks as if life happens out there. Out there is only a secondary reality. Primary reality is here. All experience is here. All meaning to life is generated here. The center of the universe is truly here. If we pay little attention, we will see that it only looks as if things are happening outside, but all experience is here. All confusion is here. All clarity is here. All entanglement is here. All freedom is here. All pain is here. All pleasure is here. All bondage is here. All liberation is here. I remember once in one interview in 2006, Swami told me, if you can manage this, you can manage the whole universe. And I am quoting Swami. He said, if you can manage this, you can manage the whole universe. All you need to know is how to manage this. So today, for the purpose of this brief talk, we will work with this. Okay. So, I'm reminded of a small story. There was a Japanese samurai. They are very skilled, great warriors. So this great warrior, he wanted to know what is hell and what is heaven, and after death, how can he reach heaven? So he made inquiries, and he was told that there's a very great sage on the top of a mountain. So this man went there, knocked on the sage's door. The sage came out and said, "Son, what do you want?" He said, "I want to know where is hell and where is heaven." The sage looked at the samurai mockingly and said, "I don't think you're smart enough to understand that. Because to get that needs a certain level of intelligence, and I don't think you have that intelligence. So better you go home." Now, this samurai was a proud warrior. He is not a normal person. He is the emperor's guard. He is highly skilled, highly trained, very alert, very sharp. And nobody talks to him like that. He got really angry. He flew into a rage. He unsheathed his sword and looked at the sage and said, "How dare you talk to me like that? Take back your words or your head will be separated from your body." The sage calmly looked at the samurai and said, "Son, this is hell." The samurai, being the smart person that he was, immediately got the message. He put back the sword in the sheath, went down on his knee, and asked for the sage's forgiveness. And the sage said, "Son, this is heaven." So the point of the story is, it only looks as if life happens there. Life happens in only one place, here. And as Swami said, if we know how to manage this, we know how to manage the whole universe. Swami didn't say the whole world. Swami didn't say you can manage your workplace. Swami didn't say you can manage your relationships. Swami said if you can manage this, you can manage the whole universe. Now, also have another question. How do we learn to love uncertainty? And that's a beautiful question, and that is actually the that's what we're going to deal with in this the following section of this talk. How do we learn to love uncertainty? So first, now that since we have established we're going to work here, I would request you to please pause for a moment and see how uncertainty is happening within you. Because see, uncertainty is just a word. It's just a word, you know. It will be manifesting in a certain way within you. So I want all of you to pause for a minute or two. You might choose to close your eyes, or you might choose to not close your eyes, and become deeply aware. Take awareness back from outside, diffused awareness, collect it together, get it back here, and become aware of how uncertainty in your life right now is manifesting within you. You may want to bring awareness to your breath, to see how your breath is working. You may want to bring awareness to your thoughts as to what kind of thoughts are being created around this idea of uncertainty. You may also want to bring awareness to your feeling, to your bodily sensations, your inner body sensations. You may want to bring awareness to your emotions around uncertainty. But what I would encourage you to do is to not get trapped in words and labels, but rather be with the experience of uncertainty as it is happening within you right now. Also, there is no right answer. There is no way it should happen. There is no should in life. Just be with the way it is happening within you right now. Just be with the experience totally. Don't try to change anything. Don't try to label anything. Don't try to understand anything. Let us suspend all need to understand and analyze and just be with the experience of uncertainty as it is happening within us right now. Please take a moment, please pause. You may close your eyes or you may not, and please stay with the experience of uncertainty. All right. So I hope you could stay with the experience of uncertainty as it's happening right now within you. And as I said, there is no right answer, there is no particular way it should happen. Some of you might have had thoughts around it, when this is going to end, what is all this? Some of you might have had literally a certain kind of an ache in certain part of the body. Some of you might have had a disturbed, shallow breath. Some of you might just have the thought, why am I not getting anything? Right? I'm sure you have, and I'm seeing, and there's nothing. I can't feel anything. I can't think anything. What is this? What's wrong with me? Even that is also an experience of this moment as it is occurring. Even that is fine. Whatever was your experience, that's fine. It's all right. It's not important. Now, What I want you to get is this. Imagine a beaker of water, muddy water, a beaker of muddy water. How do you ensure that clear, potable, drinkable, pure water becomes available to us? There's only one way, really. Leave the beaker alone. Just leave it alone. In its own time, the mud will settle down and clear water will become available for our consumption. There is no other way. Whatever we do, it will only spoil the situation, so to say, even more. Nothing can be done. Can we do anything at all to fasten the process, to speed up the process of availability of clean water? The fastest way, the most powerful way to ensure that the mud settles down and pure water is available for us is to actually leave the beaker still to itself and not do anything. This is the path of awareness. It's the most powerful path. It is the most remarkable path and the true and the way to get authentic freedom and authentic power. So as we are experiencing within ourselves how uncertainty shows up within ourselves, all that we have to do is simply let everything just be as it is. It actually sounds very simple. In fact, it is even simpler than it sounds. And sometimes that is the problem. The mind cannot grasp something that is so simple. Whatever happens within ourselves, all we have to do is just simply let it be. Nothing needs to be done about anything. All our life we have been taught that we have to think in a certain way, we have to be in a certain way. This thought is pure. In fact, that reminds me of an interview, and I asked Swami, what is the difference between pure thought and impure thought? And guess what was Swami's answer? It shook me to my core. I asked Swami, what is the difference between a pure thought and an impure thought? And Swami said, thought itself is impure. There is nothing like pure thought or impure thought. Thought itself is impure. Of course, Swami said it in a certain context, but words are only pointers. What we have to get is the spirit behind the words. So this is exactly what Swami said. Thoughts itself is impure. There is no question of pure or impure thoughts. So what I am encouraging to do is right now, whatever experience occurred within you as you brought awareness to yourself, the most important thing is to just let it be. And this I cannot emphasize enough. Just let it be. However it is, whatever the thought, whatever the emotion, however anything happens, let it be. In that complete letting be, in that complete total allowance and acceptance of what is happening inside, in that allowance, something beautiful will happen. In that deep allowance of whatever it is, and in our allowance of allowing it to be what it is, with no desire to change anything, in that allowance, we get access to a beautiful, changeless dimension within ourselves. We simply get access to it. That dimension, some people call it emptiness, some people call it silence, some people call it God, some people call it self, some people call it consciousness, some people call it being, some call it presence, some call it awareness, some call it Atma, different words. It is just that place, that firm place where we can actually create a stand for ourselves, is that space of emptiness. But that emptiness can be accessed. There are other ways also. There are other ways. That could be a topic for discussion in future fora. There are other ways of looking at it. There are other ways of approaching it. Just like a mountain can be climbed from the northern face, southern face, western face, eastern face. You could climb a mountain from any side. Difference. Some side will be faster but more difficult. Some will be easier but slower. There are ways. But once you're at the peak, it doesn't matter how we came there. So the idea is to somehow access that dimension of emptiness, meaningless silence. And that can be best done by letting everything just be. It is quite counterintuitive to all that we have actually learned. But I'm speaking from my own experience, the best and the most powerful way to transform, to gain true power, to gain true freedom, to gain a firm footing in this world of incredible change is actually the best way is to allow everything to just be. And in that beingness, we will slip into this dimension of silence. Usually I get a question, okay, silence is fine, but what about action? If I accept everything, then is it not in contradiction, to my desire to improve my life, to bring a change in my life? Is it not in contradiction to active action? Before that question comes, let me clarify, because this is an often asked question. Life is about action. Without action, there is no life. Life moves forward with action, right? Of course, action is important. And we are free to choose the action that we want to make happen in our life. But the key thing to understand is, where is our action coming from? Is our action coming from our thoughts, our emotions about a situation, about our anxieties, from our fears, from our insecurities, or is our action coming from a place of complete alignment with what is? When action comes from a place of inner alignment, that action is fulfilling, satisfying, and powerful. In that action, there is no right or wrong. There is no success or failure. There is no high or low. There is simply awareness and there is action. But such an action becomes possible only when there is complete alignment within ourselves to what is. Also, usually I get a question, what about faith in Swami? Is that not enough? Is it not simply enough that I have faith in Swami and Swami will take care of me and my family and Swami will take care of everything? And why all this being? Why all this going within? Why should I worry about anything? Why I just cannot say, Swami, take care, I have complete faith in you and I am done? Brilliant. It is very much possible to do that. If that faith is so deep rooted, real, and if it is our actual lived real experience. Usually what happens is faith is only a word. And our real lived experience actually within is one of utter faithlessness. We only say, oh Swami, I have faith in you, I know you will take care. But deep down, if we actually are honest with ourselves, I have read somewhere, it is wrong to fool others, but it is really wrong to fool yourself. So if we actually honestly look at ourselves, deeply, honestly, truthfully, then we will see that behind the veneer of faith, actually what lies is utter faithlessness. Because we say, Swami, I have faith that you will take care. What will Swami take care of? What is he supposed to take care of? The thing is, faith is not that, Swami, I'm sure whatever is okay for me, you will make it happen. No. Faith is whatever happens for me is okay for me. If all my family remains safe, and healthy, that's great for me. If all of them don't remain healthy, that's also great for me. If I keep my job and I'm financially secure, thank you, Swami. If I lose my job and I'm in the midst of financial insecurity, thank you, Swami. If I'm hale and hearty, strong, thank you, Swami. If I'm struck with a problem, thank you, Swami. So faith actually is no different from the discussion we have had right now. True faith actually is the ability to stay with what is, and the ability to let everything just be as it is. And in faith also, we could access the same inner dimension of silence if we allow it to become deep rooted, and if we allow it to flower, to its, allow it to blossom to its maximum, then faith also will get us to the same situation. Finally, I'm reminded of a small, before we end, a small experience with Swami. Once I was in the interview room with Swami, and I knew that a new chair has come for Swami. Some Western devotee had gifted a new chair, a beautiful throne actually, for Swami. And I knew that it was in the personal interview room of Swami. And I was sitting with Swami, and Swami said, asked me, "Where is my new chair?" He asked with the curiosity and the enthusiasm of a small baby, who had got a new toy. Swami said, "Where is my new chair?" I said, "Swami, it is in this room, in the inner private room, it is kept." And Swami said, "Where is my new chair?" I said, "Swami, it's right here, Swami. Should I go and fetch it? Would like to see." Then Swami became stern. He said, "Where is my new chair?" Then obviously my answer was not right. So I just remained quiet. Then Swami held my collar like this and pulled me towards him. And with his index finger, he pointed to my heart and said, "Sir, there is my chair. There is my chair." So, just to sum up, life happens within. This is the center of all experience. This is the center where the universe itself is experienced. And in is the only way out. And to handle uncertainty, in fact, not just uncertainty, to handle any emotion, to handle anything in life, the best way is to deepen our awareness of the experience as it is, not as we describe it or label it or define it or understand it, not that way, just the experience as it is, to increase our awareness of how it happens within us, and then just allow it to be. In that allowance, we get access to a beautiful inner dimension of silence. Once aligned with that dimension of silence, action will automatically flow from that dimension, and that action is powerful and transformative. And in that action, there is never failure, there is no success, there is no right, there is no wrong, there is no higher, there is no lower. One more time, I will sum it up. The key to mastery, to key to personal mastery, to key to emotional mastery is to first deeply, with great awareness, allow the emotion to play itself out in our system, to become aware of how it is occurring, and then to allow it to be just as it is in all dimensions, just simply, just allow it. In that allowing, we get access to an inner dimension of silence and emptiness. Once aligned with that dimension, from their action, when it pours forth into the world, that action is powerful, transformative, satisfactory, and fulfilling. This is what, in my years of sitting at the lotus feet of Bhagwan and other great beings, I have gathered. Hope it made sense to all of you.